What is going on, everyone? Jeremy here from Unsleeved Media, and we have some delicious leaks today. In a hilarious twist of events, even though Wizards of the Coast appears to outwardly be really trying to tighten up these leaks, and it seems like every time another leak happens, they talk about how leaks hurt them and how they're going to stop them, and then another leak happens. Today, however, was one of the best leaks yet, when it was accidentally self-spoiled. Early in the morning, some diligent browser of the website noticed this delicious clip. And now we have 3 ultra-powerful spoilers. Not just 3 spoilers, not just 3 indiscriminate commons, 3 format-defining spoilers from the Hour of Devastation block. And I want to go through these with you all because I think they're all very strong. But what I'm mostly interested in, what you think about them. First, we have Samut the Tested. Now, there is something a little off about this picture, but I mean, I'm sure these are real. They were on the Wizards website. 2 and a red and a green, 4 loyalty. So 4 mana for 4 loyalty. Now, let's see what it is. +1. Up to 1 target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Very aggressive planeswalker. -2. Samut deals 2 damage divided how you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures or players. So shock, -2 for shock. -7. Search your library for up to 2 creature and or planeswalker cards. Put them onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. Now, very powerful ability to go basically tutor up 2 more planeswalkers. I'm sure this card will see a lot of EDH play in red-green commander type decks. The abilities, however, Samut does fail the first kind of most important ability of a planeswalker in its ability to protect itself. However, in a hyper-aggressive format, this may be not a bad play on turn 3 to keep the pressure on, to shock things, clear the battlefield, and maybe go tutor up bigger, better planeswalkers. I don't know. Where do you think this fits into the current standard meta? Does it? Most of the time, planeswalkers, unless they're totally bonkers, don't see much other play, like in Modern or other formats. EDH, what commander would you like to see this with? That'd be definitely interesting to hear your take. Now we have, just the other day, Travis, thankfully, not like I've ever said anything wrong or hilarious before, hilariously knew that the 4 mana board wipe couldn't possibly be real because Wizards would never print another 4 mana Wrath. And I guess he was right, because now we have a 3 mana Wrath, 1 and 2 black, the same cost as a single removal spell, basically. And we have Bontu's Last Reckoning. Destroy all creatures. Lands you control don't untap during next untap step. Now, there's an obvious drawback here, but I think that this card is pushed. I think it would have been good at 4 mana. To have it at 3 mana is still very powerful, because if somebody has a, let's say, a 1, 2, and 3 drop, and you play this out on your turn 3, sure, next turn you can't do anything, and they can get ahead again, but they've already spilled everything all over the board. Now let's say you play it later in the game. Let's say you have 4, 5, 6 mana. You play this, you still have 3 mana open, should you want to cast something this turn, or you wait and you'll have 3 mana next turn and at least they untap. The drawback is unique, but I don't think it's anywhere near bad enough to make this card unplayable. Certainly, this should see some amount of play. Maybe it's a sideboard play but a board wipe for 3 mana, even with this drawback, seems hilariously powerful. EDH, I mean, when you have all the rocks, all the mana you could ever want, not being able to untap, okay. This is definitely a EDH playable card, very powerful EDH card, destroying all creatures. Now, it does leave planeswalkers, so you can still play your land, you can still draw your card the next turn, you can still activate the abilities of your planeswalkers, so it may not be totally debilitating as maybe people are early on considering. I'd be curious what you think. Where does Bontu fit in? Do you see it making any impact outside of Standard and EDH? What are you the most excited about this card? Then we have Big Papa. I'm sure it sticks on Wizard's Craw that this little guy got spoiled, because it would have been a huge splash in spoiler season. But we have Nicol Bolas, God-Pharaoh. And praise be to Nicol Bolas, I cover leaks. I don't think I'm better than not covering leaks. I'll cover them as long as they're relevant. And so we have this leak, an 7 mana Nicol Bolas. Standard's going to be funny when you marvel for this thing. 7 loyalty, 7 mana, +2. And all these abilities are huge flavor wins. Target opponent exile cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. He or she, I thought there were more than 2 genders. I don't know. Why don't they just say they, right? A non-land card until end of turn. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. That's bonkers. +1. Each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand. Bonkers. -4. Nicol Bolas, God-Pharaoh, deals 7 damage to target opponent or creature an opponent controls. So it can come into play and deal 7 damage. That is bananas. Comes into play for 7. Immediately -4. And you're dealing 7 damage to the opponent. That is super strong. Nicol Bolas' ultimate, which is only a few turns away. Exile each non-land permanent your opponent's control. This card is going to be a removal magnet in EDH. It's going to be hilariously overpowered in Standard. It will be played in Standard. There's no doubt in my mind. What do you think? What do you think about the art? What do you think about the card frames? Pretty nice how they have the art kind of see-through so you can see the bottom through there. I don't think I've ever noticed that on another Planeswalker. Maybe they do it, but is that new? Where do you think Nicol Bolas, God-Pharaoh fits in? And how soon do you think we're going to see another Standard ban? Because this card is bananas. In the Ulamog decks, Nicol Bolas, fast mana, we have lots of ramp. This card will see play. I'm very interested to see what it does. Certainly, this would be a fun card to play in a deck with your destroy all creatures in a control type finisher type deck. Either way, I think Wizards of the Coast definitely delivered with Nicol Bolas. Did they go too far? Only time will tell. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.